Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Shameen Miller. I create travel vlogs, tutorials, and anything lifestyle related of living an amazingly and happy, exciting life. Today, I'm gonna be talking to you about how to carry currency into different countries. I just got this question from someone, and so I decided to make a video on it. As you know, I traveled to Southeast Asia last year for 3.5 months. And I traveled to about 5 different countries, and pretty much every single country needed its own form of currency. So before I actually left, what I decided to do was look into options for travel money cards. The travel money cards here in Canada kind of stink, and you can only put one currency on it at a time. But that was at the time last year. But there are some other countries where you can buy your travel money cards and you can put on multiple currencies. So before I left, what I did is I actually opened up another bank account, which was gonna be like my travel account where I was gonna pull money out of. I didn't keep a ton of money out in that account. The reason why I ended up getting that one as well is because they ended up waiving the ATM fees from the foreign exchange, because it would cost me $5 back here home in Canada to take that money out. So I paid a bit more money extra for that account. However, every time I pulled out money from the ATM, which was weekly, I didn't have to get dinged with that $5 fee. And to be able to transfer money between my main account to my travel account, what I did is just an email money transfer, and the money was there, which was amazing. So I didn't have to worry about if I carried that card, my travel card, with me to go pull out money and I ended up getting robbed, then I actually have another bank account somewhere else and I wasn't stuck without any money. Another thing that I also did is I actually carried a credit card with me as well. So just in case, in the fact that my stuff did get stolen, I had a credit card that I can pull money out of. And ideally you don't want to be pulling money out of your credit card, but it really, but it's kind of like it's a safety net just in case if you need it. And it's not super expensive, but that was just in case of emergency. But I didn't have any of those problems. For my money that I carried with me in my bags on the way over there, I put a bit more money into my main bag, which I hid somewhere so that hopefully nobody can end up finding it. And I ended up carrying a smaller amount with me in my passport holder. I carried US dollars because pretty much US dollars is so much easier to convert than like Canadian dollars, let's say. So I carried a bunch of US money with me. But because I was gonna be traveling in these countries and especially flying in through the airports, what I decided to do was just pull money out of my ATM cards when I got to the airport. And each of the airports that I went to, they were pretty much major airports in each of those countries. So I didn't have any problems pulling out the money at the airport. So that was kind of my number one thing that I would do, because I wouldn't necessarily have money in that currency, but because I had some US cash, if I needed exchange, I could do that at the airport. But normally you'd want to do it somewhere else in the city. Or I would just pull up money at the ATM in the airport, which was like my number one thing. But what ends up happening when you get into the city, say eventually you're gonna run out of money. So you have two options. You can exchange the US dollars that you have, or pull it out of ATMs from your travel card at the different ATM machines at the bank. So when you're gonna be exchanging money, what I recommend doing is, if you're staying at a hostel or a hotel, talk to the people that work there and ask, hey, where can I go to get to exchange my money for like a favorable rate? Because the thing is, there's so many different places you can go that do money exchanges, and obviously they're all different rates. So I would just ask someone in the city there that you feel that you could trust. That's I'm saying a hostel or a hotel, because the people there do know, they know where to go. They have a lot of travelers coming in and out. So you can definitely do that. And if you want to be a little bit safe too, I would say bring somebody with you as well when you go and do this. Just, like, you never really know what's going to happen around you, and do this stuff during the day. For when it comes to pulling out money out of the ATMs, so what I would do is I would actually look up the major banks online, or again, ask people there and look up the different banks and see like what are the major banks that are in that city. And just by talking to other people that you meet on your travels, they'll say, hey, go to this bank because the fees are a lot cheaper, because the fees fluctuate between different banks, with the exception, I think, of actually Thailand, because I think it's pretty much the same fee all across Thailand. But yeah, and then you can also find out then some banks limit you on the amount of money that you can pull out. So for example, in Vietnam, I was limited to, I can't remember the amount of money it was, but you're limited to pull that out per day. So you actually had to go to the banks in Vietnam a lot more times. I remember seeing locals there, what they actually had, they had multiple bank accounts so that they can pull more money out of each account and have more cash on hand. So yeah, that's kind of it actually. Like, it's not as, I would never carry, I never even looked to think of doing traveler's checks, never really had to do that. I just thought that it just wasn't for me. But having a couple of ATM cards, having your main bank account as well as having your travel account, make sure you call your bank and tell them that you are going to be traveling for an extended amount of time so that they know that if they see a transaction come up, they're not going to turn your card off and they're going to be SOL without any money. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. It shouldn't be a scary thing. I was really scared at the very beginning of you know, pulling out money and traveling with money from one country to another, but I kind of had my routine of pulling out the money at the airport, and if I needed to pull it out in the city, then again I would look for the proper banks to do it. And whenever I went out at nighttime, I would only carry the amount of money that I only intended to spend. The rest of it, I'd leave it back in the hostel, and I would make sure that it's locked up because you don't want people to be stealing your stuff. And I guess my last piece of advice is when you are gonna pull money out, don't pull out more than a week's worth of money, because if you were to lose a week's worth, it's kind of stings. It wouldn't be that convenient. However, you're not losing all of your money all at once. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all I have. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. And you have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.